Hello everyone, I'm Brior and welcome to a very special video. Today I'm joined by two guests from Goodgame Studios, Ben and Sebastian. Thank you both very much for being here. And I'm going to be asking them some questions about Goodgame Empire, some of which were submitted by you, the fans. However, the best place to start is most likely with an introduction. Could each of you introduce yourselves? What do you do at Goodgame Studios and how long have you been working there?
All right. I've been working for Goodgame Studios now for 4 years, and I'm a game designer, game balancer for Empire and Empire 4 Kingdoms. And yeah, I basically do all the features, the numbers, the text, and stuff like that for the game.
Cool. Well, I'm Sebastian, lead community manager here at Goodgame. With Goodgame Studios, I'm for roughly 2 years already, but I'm more than 10 years in the industry. I'm addicted to games. I love communication. I love to have talks with our players here and there. We're setting up all the communication about new features, content, questions from the community, looking at the influencer channels like Prior once said. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And you can answer this together or separately if you wish, but what's something that each of you have worked on that players would recognize in the game?
I think that's separately better than together. Well, I worked a lot of stuff. I guess the bigger stuff that players should know are the Outer Realms and my personal favorite collector event stuff like the Reaper's Brass, the Hive Mind, the Elemental Eidolons, and stuff like that. What did you do?
Well, what we do, we gather all the ideas for our amazing community. Bring it over to the game team. So Benjamin and his guys, fellow colleagues, can rework features, add additional stuff. That's also one of the things where CM has a lot of influence using your feedback to make the game better.
Could you talk a little bit about the process that an idea has to go through at Goodgame Studios in order to make its way into the game?
Yeah, sure. So first, we somehow get our ideas. That sometimes comes from the team itself, sometimes from higher up decisions that we have to do something, and of course also from the community of stuff that they want to see and their ideas. Then we try to iterate a bit on that, what we actually want to do, how we're going to do this, talk with the team, how to implement that in a good and fast way most of the time for us as well, and just evaluate how to do this and how to bring it into the game in the end, going through all the departments necessary and trying to get up the ideas from basically everyone we can find.
And how many people would you say are working on Goodgame Empire overall?
Well, it's hard to split that, because Empire and Empire for Kingdoms, the mobile version, share the same resources, the same team. But it's quite good for both products because we have kind of more manpower to work ahead on existing content, but also on new features. In total, there are roughly between 25 to 30 people working on the projects or in the Empire family. And but they're supported by departments like community management, marketing, business development, technology. So there are more people working around, but not just for Empire for Kingdoms, they're working for the whole company.
Whether it be posted on the forums or emailed directly to support, could you tell us how player feedback makes its way to those people who work on Empire?
Yeah, basically we read a lot of the forums and try to get the feedback from you guys, but as Sebastian said, he comes over a lot and gives us the feedback from the community, from you guys, and we discuss what we can do, what we want to do, and how we bring that in. But it's basically Sebastian and his team and a lot of us designers reading the forum, trying to get the basic idea of all the ideas out of it, bring it in.
Especially Empire players may have noticed that we have here and there in-game surveys about specific features. We're gathering feedback. That is obviously used to iterate on new features or content that we just changed. But also on top, we are providing feedback on the fly. So if something new is out or something specific in the game did change, could happen, we also let the necessary stakeholders know about so we can further iterate. So it's an ongoing process that we feed the game team with your feedback.
Gotcha. So as I think we've been referring to already in this interview, Goodgame Studios doesn't just work on Goodgame Empire, they're also working on 4 Kingdoms, Big Farm, and a few other games as well. So my question to you then is, how high does the desktop version of Goodgame Empire fall on the list of priorities?
Pretty straightforward. Empire is one of the most important games. It has a very high priority, totally. And on top of that, all games have dedicated game projects. So whatever we do in Empire has no influence on the other game. So each game has its priority. Each game is important to us. But yeah, especially Empire is something we're really proud of. Proud of the great players we have, proud of the features we're adding. And looking forward to make new cool content on the best quality level possible.
And so with that in mind, I'd like to ask you a few tougher questions now. These are just things that I've heard players in the game complain about, or in some cases worry about. And the first actually has to do with bots, or automated scripts. Goodgame Studios really ramped up its effort against bots last year. And so my question to you is Goodgame Studios confident that bots have been removed from the game?
Well, I don't think you can ever get rid of all the bots just because they're evolving. They always find new ways, but we try to fight as hard as we can against those and try to always be up to date with what's going on right now because we want to ensure a fair environment for everybody. So we put a lot of effort into this to make it fair for all the guys and to make it enjoyable for everybody.
Some players have found ways to exploit the payment shop, and they are buying rubies at a reduced price. What is Goodgame Studios doing to stop this?
Well, obviously, I'm not going to go into details, because there might be high chances players or some players might get an idea how our systems work. We have a dedicated so-called fraud team, and they're investigating such cases, and they're working close with the game teams to make changes in the background to prevent such possible shop exploits. And I can tell you that some of them recently, got fixed.
Well, that's great news. Another question that I had for you was, players are noticing more and more empty spots on the world map, and Google Trends data suggests that the number of searches for the game has been going down for years. So where does Goodgame Studios think that Goodgame Empire is in its development lifespan, and where do you expect the game will be in 2 to 3 years?
That's really one of the more tougher questions, to be honest. Well, Empire is already 8 years old, and that's quite a long lifespan already for browser game. We are happy and proud that the game is already there for that long time. What we do, we keep working on getting content, on high quality content to ensure the players who are already there have a lot of fun, can enjoy the game, but also we are still ongoingly driving new players into the game. There are different ways of marketing to do that, and also working with partners in order to get new players into it. And from our point of view, the game is really built and meant to run for a lot of more years to come.
If the player base does rapidly shrink, would Goodgame Studios consider merging servers together? Is this something that would be technically possible?
Well, we're reviewing local servers or language-based servers, and if we would ever have feelings, data, and anything else that would show us, okay, we have to react, we would react. Technical feasibility is a different topic. Let's say there are always ways to make necessary actions. It's a question of difficulty.
So one thing that I wanted to return to came up earlier in this interview was that Goodgame Studios has been developing Goodgame Empire for at least 8 years. I've been playing for 7. And how do new players who might just be joining today catch up to players who have been developing their account for years?
Yeah, well, basically, you always have a power gap between the new and older players. That's kind of the core of the game. We try to make it easier for new players to catch up by joining an alliance, getting to know from basically you guys how to play the game without us telling everybody. We try to make this hard transition between the level 70 and the legend level a bit more smooth, and we try to adjust our reward pool so people can catch up earlier to the higher players. So we try to bring them up as fast as possible, but against this power gap, there's nothing you can do except for really playing actively and hoping to catch up at one point. But that's basically the only thing we can do at that point.
So now I'd like to ask you some questions about events and features that have been added to the game in the past year to see if Goodgame Studios is happy with how they've turned out. And the first one is actually HTML5. Goodgame Empire was converted to HTML5 earlier this year, and at the time on the forums, you indicated that eventually Adobe Flash would go away. but it's still here. Players can still use it. So should we expect to continue to be able to use Adobe Flash moving forward?
Well, first of all, we have to explain that it's very hard to keep those versions up. You can imagine we are building game versions on Flash, on HTML5, have to test both of them, not just for new features, also existing content, also change something. So there's a lot of effort for all the quality teams, for development teams to check on that, and also for the whole production, because we have really to take care that those versions are running at the same time. Let's say as more players playing HTML5, as sooner we can shift to we constantly work on HTML5 to improve it here and there. The so-called flexit, so the exit from Flash, is necessary at all. In 2020, Flash will be gone, and there will be just HTML5, at least for Empire, left as a technology to go for.
So, in the past year, Goodgame Studios has introduced a number of changes to food production and food storage as well. We're talking about private resource villages, new build items, relic greenhouses, and even more recently, the new relic food build items, which promise to add up to 15,000 units of production per castle and 30,000 units of food storage. Have these changes been too drastic?
Too drastic is always hard to say. Have some changes in balancing always changes the game and influences the game. They are high, definitely, but we try to balance it for our existing players, our existing community, so for top players like you, for example. And they are the first step we want to take. We also want to do more food itself, so we're working on stuff to counter all of this additional food storage and food production you have in your castles, to have something worthwhile for it, but you still have to wait a bit for that, unfortunately.
Sure. So because players are producing and storing so much more food for the reasons we just talked about, they're able to keep ever more defenders in their castles, and yet, for the past few years at least, the number of troops we've been able to send on the attack hasn't changed. It's about 3,000 unless you use special gems. So my question is, how are you keeping PvP balanced and viable in the game?
Yeah, well, our first step for this was basically the Outer Realms. We tried to create a new environment where PvP is in a new state, or in for most people, older state in that regard. And we tried to go more into that direction because basically of this power gap that you asked for earlier, it's hard to keep up a viable PvP on the normal server. And we also have something else coming up, which is on the horizon, that will also be related to PvP that you can look forward to.
And what do you guys think the best new feature of 2019 is so far?
Well, I'm a bit biased there, I would say, because like I said, I'm a huge fan of the collector events, and I really like the Hive Mind event that we did this year, basically because I did nearly everything for it, and I tried to put in a couple of jokes in the text, and I just like those kind of stuff. So it's a small feature, but I really enjoyed that. So that would be my pick for the year.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that event as well. Something that's been mentioned a few times in this interview already is the Outer Realms. It was actually added to the game around this time last year, and then it saw a series of changes. So my question is Goodgame Studios happy with the event as it currently stands?
Yeah, well, Outer Realms work well, and enjoying it quite a lot. We used the player feedback a lot to improve the Outer Realms, especially the scoring mechanics, where also Benjamin was working on, and I can just say thank to our community for all the feedback we got that we can use to improve Outer Realms, to work ahead on that feature, and bring forward to the next comments and feedback on it.
And to add to that, done yet. There will be still more to come for the Outer Realms.
I'm excited. I'll be eager to make a video about
it. Sounds good.
So Goodgame Studios has also made a number of changes in the past year which have affected the balance between free-to-play and Ruby players. Most notably, we can now subscribe to the game, pay a monthly fee, but even more recently, you added the special offer shop. Would you say that Goodgame Empire is still fair for free-to-play players?
Yeah, I would say it is. We always try to balance, like stuff we implement for everyone, we try to balance for our average player. Of course, we want to give a chance for higher players to get some more out of it because there are loyal customers and everything. So that's always the case. But we try never to hide anything behind payments. Or anything. You can participate in everything, and with activity, you're mostly able to get everything out of the game. Might be hard, but it's possible. But at that point, we have to be honest with ourselves. Pay users are what keeps us going, what keeps us alive, and what keeps everybody playing. So we need to provide something for their money they spend on us, and we try to make it in a way that it's nice for everybody, but still a benefit for the people who decide to support us with money.
Sounds fair enough, but let me ask you about equipment in the game. With the exception of fire commanders and castellans, outdated equipment is kind of useless, and I know that many players in the game would prefer not to loot equipment from NPCs at all, rather than having to sell it piece by piece in the equipment screen. Of course, automatic selling of equipment is only for players who are willing to pay a monthly subscription. My question to you is, are you planning any changes to the equipment system to improve quality of life for players?
Yeah, so basically, the whole unique equipment we had so far was a lot of maintenance work for us to do. We, to be honest, didn't even manage to come up with new ideas what to do with the sets. We created a lot of them. So the relic equipment was our solution to not only give you guys more freedom in how to create the set without us saying this is a Fire Baron set, this is a Nomad set, this is a PvP set, but now you can create them how you want them to be. And also, we're aware that storage is a bit of a problem, and the selling of equipment is only for subscription. We will try to tackle that more in the future. And to be completely honest, we completely forgot about the equipment from the NPC targets. That actually you get something from them that is really not viable for most of the players. So we will have a look at that, but we completely forgot.
I see. Well, it sounds good. I'll appreciate any changes you can make to that system just to make it easier and less time-consuming for players. So after I reached out to you for this interview and you agreed, one of the next things that I did was I reached out to my community on Discord and here in my community tab on YouTube to ask them what questions they wanted me to ask you. So I think I know the answer to some of these, but here are the questions that came up again and again. And by far and away, the most asked question was, will Lucky Pennies ever make a return to Goodgame Empire outside of Ruby offers?
Yes, in a subscription. The problem is the Lucky Pennies, they're a huge economical risk for us, so we have to keep them a bit on the shorthand and see how it develops.
Why are there so many pop-up offers nowadays in Goodgame Empire, and when will they stop?
Yeah, first of all, to mention, we are aware that there are currently a lot of pop-up offers, messages in your inbox, and a lot of icons for events and offers. On the other hand, I have to say that advertising is quite natural if we play games. Because obviously would like to sell our content as well. A lot of people are looking also for getting information what offers are running. So that's a two-edged sword more or less for us. But we know it's currently maybe a bit annoying. We're working ahead on ways to fix it the best way possible, that you get less pop-ups, and still find information on offers and content on sale the best way, the easiest way possible for a player.
How is Goodgame Studios attracting new players to the game? Are there any TV ads running?
Well, there are several ways. We are running here and there TV ads, but let's say less than a couple of years ago. But we also have a very good marketing team here in-house, so we're doing banners on the internet, across Google, Yahoo, wherever. We have also been working with influencers. We have partner websites we are working with. There's viral content we are providing more in the content marketing direction. So we're still hugely advertising the game more or less across the world and drive new players.
And what's next for players at the highest level of the game?
Like I already mentioned, there is something on the horizon coming up. Let me guess what I can give you some nice information for that. Well, it will be PvP related, and you might want to get your alliance mates up to date and maybe start planning a bit with who you want to play.
Huh, that's an interesting teaser. Luckily, I already play with people that I enjoy, so that's good.
That's really good, yeah.
How about each of you guys? Do you play Goodgame Empire yourselves?
Yeah, of course. Gotta admit, I play more Empire for Kingdom. I'm more of a mobile player guy than on a web guy, but also playing Empire. I don't know how often I started new, but I have my high-level account. I have multiple mid-level and low-level accounts. So yeah, I'm actively playing.
Same for me. Yeah, to be honest, on a professional level, we are playing more or less all the games we have here at GS. Yeah, on a private level, I'm also playing more the mobile version. The web, of course, yeah, I have kids and playing on the fly just works a bit better for me than really sitting on a PC and playing a web version time over. So just checking E4K here and there, getting my cars ready with food, taking a bit part of the events. That's the deal I go for.
Gotcha. Here's a question that's of great personal significance to me. What's your favorite Goodgame Empire YouTube channel?
Okay. There are a lot of good channels out there, and we enjoy all of them. I don't think we can pick any favorite just because we love every content that is created about our game, and we enjoy every single video that comes out that helps us see your feedback, your impression, and helps us improve all of it.
And what's the name of my Goodgame Empire YouTube channel?
Prior 47.
All right, I'll just edit those two together and we'll be good to go. Another question that was frequently suggested is, when can we expect the Blade Coast to return? And when it does, will it come back with higher difficulties and greater rewards?
I have a straightforward question on that, and you probably might like it. The honor, but there will be new rewards and a new difficulty level. The whole event is going to be revamped.
And when is Goodgame Studios planning to update the Storm Islands?
Yeah, that's something we are looking into, but there are no details yet. Yeah, unlikely that it will happen 2019, maybe 2020.
Another event that appears to be missing right now is the Berimond invasion. This is the version that appears in the Great Kingdom. Where is that?
Yeah, we would like to bring back Berimond invasion. If we do that, we would like to the Kingdoms League and the LTPE. Yeah, we're currently looking into ways and discussing how we can do it the best way and where there's maybe a time slot in the future, but there are no more details.
Okay. I know you guys already talked a little bit about a new update that involves PvP that's coming around the corner, but I was hoping you could elaborate on what we might expect in terms of updates for the rest of 2019, just to close out the video.
Yeah, like this is the biggest thing probably we did the whole year, which what is coming up, the PvP related feature, and this will take most of our time now. So that's definitely something to look forward to. I don't think we can say any more than that about it right now, except for, like I said, that your alliance made up. But everything else, unfortunately, you have to wait to see what's still coming.
Yeah, I would say what we can add there is the Blade Coast, obviously. What we already kind of teased 2 or 3 questions ago. And on the other hand, as I said, one of important topics for us is really the offer spam as well, finding a way to prevent it the best way possible. Yeah, that's still pay players, and everybody who wants to pay find their offers. And on the other hand, everybody else, or all players at least, don't feel disturbed or hindered in their gameplay.
All right, that sounds pretty good. So we've reached the end of the interview. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank each of you and Goodgame Studios just in general for being willing to talk to me. I really appreciate it. And I also wanted to give you the opportunity, give you the last word. Is there anything that you wanted to say or that you wanted to make sure ended up in this interview?
Well, I'm going to start in. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Pierre. Yeah, I enjoyed the interview a lot with you. Yeah, also looking forward when it's going to share with the audience. Yeah, you probably might read it as well. Yeah, and share it here and there. On top of that, yeah, we thank all our players. Yeah, we thank our great community. Keep the comments and feedback going. We're really interested in it. We need it. Yeah, to provide you the best good content we can bring out. Yeah.
Yeah, like Sebastian said, keep it coming. We want to have all the feedback. We want to bring everything into the game that you guys want to see. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for all the YouTube videos and all the content you create. It's great. everyone out there. So keep that going, and that's it.
Yeah, that's why.
All right, you've heard it here, folks. They've been Goodgame Studios. I've been Brior. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. We're clear.